Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Legendary Patterson Eastside High School principal Joe Clark dies at 82. Joe Clark, who became a legend as the baseball bat and bullhorn wielding principal of Eastside High School in Patterson in the 1980s, died on Tuesday. Clark was 82. He died at his home in Gainesville, Florida, after a long battle with illness. According to his family, they did not specify the nature of the illness. Clark had been a resident of South Orange in New Jersey before he retired to Florida. He became a local legend in Patterson after his tenure at Eastside High School. Clark demanded obedience through an autocratic approach. He was known for wielding a baseball bat and a bullhorn while patrolling the hallways of the Park Avenue High School. His work at Eastside High School was turned into a movie called Lean On Me. Clark was played by Morgan Freeman. Clark's exploits were covered in the national media. He received praise from President Ronald Reagan for his tough approach. He did not receive much praise from parents whose kids he tossed out of the school. Clark threw out 300 students in his first year, 1982, or the school board whose authority he undermined. I don't just categorically extirpate young people out of school, but I am categorically emphatic that we cannot any longer condone hooliganism, aberrant behavior, deviant behavior in those schools, said Clark in a CNN interview when asked about his practice of tossing troublemakers out of his school. I'm convinced that young people, the vast majority, deserve the right to an environment that's conducive to learning. Clark explained the students tossed out were unproductive adults, 18, 19, and 20 years old. He described them as grown men and women that the system failed by not providing alternative education for people who cannot function in a traditional setting. He had to deal with violence, drug dealing, and low test scores in the school. Eastside High School continues to suffer from some of the same problems today. Clark's hardline approach irked the school board, which drew up insubordination charges that were later dropped. He was ordered suspended in 1989 for allegedly arranging strippers to perform at a school assembly. I must state forthrightly that I am a benevolent dictator, said Clark during the CNN interview. Clark was born in Rochelle, Georgia on May 8, 1938. His family moved to Newark, New Jersey when he was 6 years old. After graduating from Newark Central High School, he obtained a bachelor's degree from William Patterson University. He obtained a master's degree from Seton Hall University and received an honorary doctorate from the U.S. Sports Academy. He served as a U.S. Army Reserve Sergeant and drill instructor after college. His experience in the U.S. Army Reserve shaped his outlook and turned him into a stern disciplinarian. Clark served as a grade school teacher in Patterson and as a director of camps and playgrounds in Essex County. He then became principal of School 6. His family said he transformed the school from failing to the so-called miracle of Carroll Street. After he left Eastside High School in 1989, Clark worked as director of the Essex County Detention House, a juvenile detention center in Newark. For 6 years, he also wrote a book laying down the law, Joe Clark's Strategy for Saving Our Schools, chronicling his experience at Eastside High School. Clark's wife, Gloria, who he met at Eastside High School, died last year. Clark left behind his children, Joetta, Hazel, and JJ, and grandchildren, Talitha, Jarrell, and Hazel. He was the best thing that happened to that school, said Arlinda Crutchfield, who was a sophomore when Clark began his reign at Eastside High School. In an email after finding out about his death, his methods were done out of love for the young black community, and they worked. He was so genuine. I will always remember how pleasant he was. I look forward to seeing him in the halls with his bullhorn because everything time he saw me, he called me by my name I don't know how he remembered it, but he did. I had such a good experience in high school, and because of him, I can say that I am proud to have went to Eastside. So we lost Joe Clark, y'all, for the year. It's just been a long year of deaths and things going on all around. And his methods, I think people missed the point of how his methods really shaped a lot of men, a lot of kids into men and women. And I think a lot of times we need that. We need that disciplinary. Some kids need that disciplinary and tough love, as a lot of the old school people would say. And I think a lot of times that is what's robbed us of advancing, not only in education, but advancing in the world. Because when we're taught a certain way, when we're given something, whether than earn it, it's a big difference. When you earn something, you feel a lot better. You feel, how do I say it? You feel like a new person. You feel like, man, I strive to get that. I earned that, as opposed to being given something and then you would lose it to me in the day because you wouldn't have that same care for it as you would if you earned it or got it yourself. And a lot of things that the movie Lean On Me showed was how he shaped up a school of misfits and bad behavior and kids who just weren't learning or were trying to get better. And this is the thing that goes on today, is that some parents just don't care, or they care, but they're too lazy to get on their children and get on them about their work, get on them on how to better themselves. And us as a Black community, we failed a lot of times because we're not able to teach our kids how to save money, how to expand money, where to put our money at. These are things that aren't given to us. And Joe Clark was one of the people who was trying to give that to us, especially the community. And that's what the problem is that we live in a system and live in a country that could give a damn about us, don't care anything about us, doesn't want to see us succeed, doesn't care if we succeed. They just want to keep placing debt on us and continue giving us all this, giving us all this false hope. All of this, oh, well, you guys aren't segregated anymore, you're desegregated. And desegregation really has not helped us as a people. It hasn't. Because when we were segregated, it forced you to work with your boy or work with this girl that you may not even come in contact or even try to talk to while you're out and about. And that's what really has hindered us. And it continues to hinder us. The education system, they don't care about our education. When we were segregated, we had teachers who looked like us. We took the extra steps. We took the extra measures to get better at things like learning math, learning science, learning how to build things, how to fix things. We actually learned how to do these things. Now, we don't have that knowledge, or we're privy to it. We can go look it up and everything, but our kids, we're so busy telling them, go to school. After you go to school, get a job. Now we're in a system now where this COVID, which I believe they dropped here, and I believe they gave us the COVID for population control. From the beginning, I knew this. From the beginning, I've been seeing this crap, because it's just, to me, it's just too coincidental. And now you got a new strain going on, because you got to instill that fear. You got to continue making people afraid and killing people off so you can dwindle the numbers, because we have too many people in the world, and we don't have enough food. We don't have enough clothing. We don't have enough stuff, and people are having babies left and right. I mean, that's how they're looking at it, is that we're going to be out of supplies. And now they're creating fake foods and fake things. And and cloning meat so they could feed to us to try to expand the meat. And we don't know the long-term effects of that on our body and how it tears our body up. And we'll never know because we're too busy looking at other things. But I sidetracked. Mr. Joe Clark was a great principal. Like I said, all I know from him is the Lean On Me character that Morgan Freeman played. And that's what we need. We need disciplinary action, and we need more young men and young brothers to teach these men how to be men. But it's hard today because the teachers certifications, they're making it harder for people. Some people don't test well, but they're great teachers. Some people test great, better than most, but they're the lousiest teachers. They're the worst teachers that you ever could be around. Seriously. And then the principals, they don't care. And all these teachers, they're too busy sleeping with the kids instead of teaching these kids what's right and what's wrong. And some of these substitute teachers, they're even worse. They're sleeping with kids. And yeah, as a kid, you'll be like, look what I did. That doesn't make you great because of your way of thinking and how you're acting. You're going to be on the road of delinquency and be on the road of not getting better knowledge wise and education wise and being able to figure things out on your own. And that's what Joe Clark did. Joe Clark established the rule. He established what you needed to do as opposed to what you wanted to do. And that's our problem. It's too many times we want something instead of needing something and getting that done. So thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you'd like to donate to the page, you can cash at me at the word welcome, the number 2, and then HDIITV. Thank you for listening, and we're out. Live boy.